It's March 8th in Nashville, Tennessee, the first day of daylight savings time. And I want to show you around a few of the spots that are really coming to life, kind of give you a before picture for the 2026 gardening season, and talk a little bit about the projects I want to do in each of these areas and kind of what I'm hoping for this year. So I want to start here by my back door. This is an area that historically I've kind of crowded with a lot of containers, a lot of annuals, kind of big color, big displays that I honestly don't really have time to continually water and fertilize. So I want to do something a little bit more simple. And I've been thinking of having a Japanese maple here for a while in a container. It's definitely part shade. It gets sheltered from the afternoon sun over here. So I think a Japanese maple could do well. But there is the window, so I'm not sure if I want to really have a ton of foliage because I like my morning sun. But anyway, I was hemming and hawing and doing tons of research about what Japanese maple to buy, and then I just saw a blood good on sale and thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. That tends to be how I make my decisions. A lot of research that I just then throw out the window and do an impulse buy. But here it is. I'm really happy with the size I got for the amount of money I spent. I know blood goods are not that hard to find. They're kind of everywhere. They're the standard. But I'm excited to see how it does. I want to keep it kind of limbed up, see if I can get it into a cool shape or not. I don't know. And I've got it underplanted with some pansies. I still do have a few random pots here, but I think I want to keep it really simple and just maybe the tree and a couple of pots, not go crazy with container arrangements. So we'll see how this evolves over the course of the year. Let's go check out what's happening in the vegetable garden. March 8th, so much already. So I don't really have a big master plan for the veggie garden. My job is planting veggie gardens, and they're all pretty much of a formula. We have a system that works, and I actually kind of like to be a little bit more improvisational in my garden. At work, we come in with all the plants in one day and get everything planted in a couple of hours. And I'm in my garden snatching, 20 minutes here, maybe 15 minutes before work, 15 minutes when I get home from work. So I just kind of plant what I feel like planting where there's a space. I've already got in some cabbages and broccoli, the garlic from last year. I did have a little bit of fun planting in a triangle shape. That's why this string is still here marking my straight lines that I wanted to have. So I've got radishes there, beets and carrots along this one. So I might repeat that triangle down at the end, just having fun with planting design. This bed is still a lot of stuff from last winter. So kale, arugula, sorrel, scallions, carrots. I'm just finishing harvesting all that off. And then I've got lettuce, more broccoli, spinach, some carrots seeded in that other bed. And I'll continue to plant things over the next couple of weeks. I've got seedlings still that need to go in. So I'm really excited about veggies. My goal is 52 weeks of harvest this year. So far, so good. I've harvested something every week. Mostly just a little bit of kale, some perennial herbs. I had to make sprouts one week to have something in the dead of winter. But yeah, veggies, we're just gonna go with the flow. So this is one area where I'd really like to make some big changes. It's the side of my house leading from the front yard to the backyard. And I really like it to be a little bit of a mystery. When I moved in, the path was already here, curving around. And all the past 5 years, there's been a big burning bush here, and it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and blocking the pathway. In some ways, that was cool because you really couldn't see the gate beyond. You had to kind of wind your way through, and you didn't know what was back there. In other ways, it was bad because it was getting in the way. And if it was wet or snowy, it was uncomfortable to walk by. But I still want to maintain and create that kind of constriction and release out into the backyard. So I need to think about what I want to put here that can get big enough to block the gate visually, but not so big that it actually physically blocks you from the gate. But climbing rose is doing pretty well here, needs a prune. And I've got a giant fennel that'll come in here. That's already coming back. A few bulbs, a few azaleas. I definitely need to paint the house, so that's on the list for this year. Got this heavenly bamboo that was also here when I moved in. I think that's going to be gone. And a few little bulbs and things, some catmint. I have grown sweet peas here on this trellis. I've grown morning glory. Both of those have been really fun. In the late summer, the canna will get really huge here, but I think I want to dig all that out. And I might like to do an actual tree, like maybe a fruit tree. Not sure if there's enough sun, but I think there is. I think this very corner still gets hit with full sun. So that's some plans for this area, and I really hope we can see a big change come June or July compared to now. Up here in the front of my house is mostly shade. It's the north side. We've got this dogwood above that is struggling but hanging on. And I've done a few changes in this bed, but I think I'm mostly happy with it. I have a couple of goals this year. First off, March, I just still need to clean up my old hostas and other like foliage that's fallen and dropped there. The hydrangeas are really happy. I would love them to be blue this year, so I'm going to work hard with my soil acidifier to get those to blue up. The first year I had them, they were gorgeous and really blue, and then they've become more kind of purple and pink over the years. My hellebores are so beautiful right now. I love those, and I think I really need to just put in a few more plants in the middle here, because all those hostas will fill in just a month or so, but right now I could definitely have some bulk and some color in there. So other than that, I think I'm just gonna let this bed kind of evolve over this year. And then here in this cement planter, I have added a couple of azaleas. I have not really been decisive or known what to do with this planter, like most of the areas of my garden, honestly. And I've had random bulbs in here, and lamb's ear is kind of like spread itself around. But I think I really just want some simple kind of evergreen hedging plants or shrubs. So I put in 2 azaleas. There's a loropetalum. I think I'm probably going to replace it with a 3rd azalea, but I'm going to see how those do this year and whether I like it. And then my little cute planters are making me happy with the daffodils. There's some carex in there that I'm not sure if it made it through the winter, so I'm going to leave it for another couple weeks to see if it'll start to grow again. But yeah, otherwise I'll put some new plants in those probably end of April. But for now, just see what happens. So over here I have what I kind of call my cottage garden, and it's this little corner here, and it extends all along the driveway, and it is just a really kind of random assortment of perennials and bulbs and annuals, and I kind of forget what's planted there and just watch as things pop up. They self-seed, and the colors and the shapes are all just really wild and random, and it's fun. So I'm really enjoying seeing lots of things pop up again. I'll show you some close-ups of what's appearing, and I'll be filling in with annuals over the next couple months. My goal is for this whole area and all along the driveway just to be really full and colorful for the whole season. There have definitely been years where I have let things go a little too long, thinking, oh, they'll come back, they'll recover, they'll do well. Let me just give them a little more time. And I really think this year I want to be more aggressive and just say, you know what, you're not performing. Let's take it out and put something else there that is actually going to bloom and produce color. So that's my goal. But right now, I've got daffodils blooming, there's irises popping up, I see tulips, I see alliums, bee balm, nigella, echinacea, gaura, Walker's Low catmint, columbine, foxgloves, snapdragons, eryngium, Shasta daisies, peonies, oh, lavender, phlox, rudbeckia. Is that everything? Salvia, poppies. I think it's gonna be really fun. If I can just get a lot of color at one time, I'll be happy. So before I talk about flowers, I want to talk about my pathways. Ugh, this is something that really needs work. Last year when I had this garden rebuilt, we scraped all the grass, which was a diverse bed of green things. And it was really muddy, and so we needed to put down sod just to have something there so it wouldn't be muddy and I could actually get out here and garden. But it really didn't handle all the foot traffic. So I am hoping for going back once again to a mix of, just like the perennial weeds, the clover, the grass, whatever green wants to grow in here is fine with me. I just mow it all down and I think it looks pretty good, but there's still a lot of very muddy bare spots. This clover is coming in really fast. I've also seeded some more micro clover, so hoping that grows vigorously and fills in. And then I don't step on the baby seedlings too much because, as you can see, I am out here, I am walking on it all the time. There are a few places I might go ahead and put some pavers down, like over by my potting bench, because I just stand there so much. I don't know if any plants will ever be able to take hold because I'm always treading on that wet ground. Oh, here's some sugar snap peas coming up. Really hoping the slugs don't eat them tonight. But back here, I have started planting all my cut flowers. So I've got more things that are out in the front. Poppies, foxgloves, snapdragons. There's yarrow, there's sweet William. I've got some ranunculus, some more, pincushion flower, rudbeckia. And over here on this side, a lot of the same. There's actually some bachelor buttons, some Amy, probably self-seeded. I think Nigella I see popping up. I've got flax and status, and I think that's it right now. Once again, just like the bed out front, I want it to be really colorful, full, abundant. I don't want to let things go too long if they're not producing. I want a lot of cut flowers this year. My goal is to just have plenty of bouquets, give away lots of bouquets, invite friends over to cut flowers, maybe have a make your own bouquet party. So I got to keep this full and harvest all these pretty quickly in May and get all the next round of zinnias and marigolds and dahlias and celosia, sunflowers in here. So I'm excited for that. So there's one spot that's going to change so much, I think, this year, and I might need some ideas on it. So come over here. So as you can see, this is the bird wildlife area. I've got my bird feeder and a bird bath and a nice little dwarf mulberry tree, which they love to sit in, waiting for their turn at the bird feeder. But actually all around here, I've got bulbs. I can see some lilies popping up and some peonies back here. And I think I'm going to go ahead. This is where my tree stump was. So there's a lot of decaying matter underground. I think I'm going to go ahead and mulch this area and just turn it into a bed. I've been kind of undecided about that, not knowing exactly how to handle the area where there was a tree. Do I want to just make it lawn? Do I want to make a bed? I don't know. Mulberry tree was already planted here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and define this area. And I'm also considering putting some shrubs behind it because, as you can see, my neighbor's garage is in desperate need of covering up. Probably should be torn down, but and also my compost pile is back there. So I think some maybe evergreen shrubs right behind this bird feeder area would be great. But if you have another idea, I can put some stuff along the fence. I I don't know, should I connect this area all with beds to back there? I sort of have a dream of putting a greenhouse there at some point, but I don't know. I think for now, probably just mulching all around here after things come up and I kind of see where they are, but we'll see. So that's a little bit of kind of how my garden's looking right at the beginning of March. I know it's not a lot to see right now, but actually that's kind of the point. I wanted to show you how things are looking kind of as a before picture, because I think it's going to change a lot. I know it's going to change a lot. It's already changed a lot so much in these past 2 weeks of warm spring weather. I hope that you'll come back this summer and see how everything's looking. I hope that I will get it together and make a video. So we'll see you then.